In this video, we'll talk about how to make a driving question to support your Maker project. We'll go over the purposes of a driving question, some examples of types of driving questions, and some simple steps to go from a learning objective to a driving question. A driving question serves multiple purposes. A quality driving question encourages exploration. One question can lead to exploring more questions. It should also engage students. If the question can lead to a conversation, it is probably engaging. Finally, a driving question serves to focus the project work. Moving toward an answer of the question should be moving toward the learning objective. According to the Buck Institute of Education, there are three main types of driving questions: abstract, concrete, and problem solving. Concrete and problem solving questions are the most suitable for Maker projects, but I'll provide examples of each. An abstract question often tends to be philosophical. A couple examples would be, when is war justified, or when is technology not progress? A concrete question could eventually be answered, but have complex elements to it. Is our water safe to drink is a concrete question. It is a yes-no question, but isn't easy to answer and requires answering many other questions. Technology or making can be used to try to answer a concrete question. For example, in a Maker project, students could create tools to measure aspects of water safety. A problem-solving question is just what it sounds like. You ask how you can solve a problem or make something better. For example, how can we improve this website so more young people use it? These questions work great for Maker projects, as you can try to determine how to make things that solve the problem. Here are 3 simple steps to go from a learning objective to a driving question. 1. Make the learning objective a broad question. For example, in our last video, we developed the learning objective. Students will create a chart of logical steps that accurately demonstrates the path of a program to solve a problem. That has great focus, but is too detailed for a driving question. It will help us to broaden it to the main ideas for our driving question. For this objective, students are designing a program to solve a problem. For this step, just turn that broad idea into a question. How can we design a computer program to solve a problem? Step 2. So far, we've got a working driving question right there. But with step 2, we can make it even better. Step 2 is to give it context. Consider the context of your project or how this question applies to the world around you. You can help set context for a driving question by asking yourself some questions about your project. Ask yourself, what are we trying to do, and for whom? We know our driving question is trying to solve a problem, but specifically what problem? Hypothetically, let's just say we wanted our project to help local businesses save money. Our driving question would then simply become, how can we design a computer program to help businesses save money? Or we could have chosen for our project to have an environmental context, and it could have become, how can we design a computer program to help businesses be more green? Or it could have an entirely different context and could have become, how can we design a computer program to help first graders learn math? All of these driving questions would lead to the same objectives, but you can see how by providing a little bit more context to the question, students are more likely to find an entry to start working with the question and can become more engaged in finding an answer. Our third and final step is to review the question you've generated. In addition to getting feedback from fellow teachers, have a few students look at the question and see if they interpret it the way you've intended. A simple and final way to double-check your driving question is to ask yourself, could someone just Google this question and find the answer? Remember, a driving question leads to more questions and moves in the direction of the learning objective. It is not something that has an answer that can be looked up. Follow these 3 steps and you'll have a focused and engaging driving question that is directly connected to your learning objective. Those steps were: 1. Turn your learning objective into a broad question. 2. Give your question context. And 3. Review your driving question. In our next video, you will learn how to create assessments and rubrics for your Maker projects.